Hey, good morning, guys. It's Drew. It's Monday morning, and I wanted to get into opportunity and why I think the millennial generation, a lot of millennials are being misled to miss out on opportunity. Um, and what kind of spurred this thought is because one of my very good friends and actually a mentor of mine, Anthony Scaramucci, he released a recent podcast explaining, what he was doing when he was our age. I mean, this guy is, he's in the top 1%. He's a hedge fund manager, manages about $12 billion in assets, and he's probably one of the most successful people that I know. He holds the most exclusive and noteworthy hedge fund conference called the Soul Conference, and he's one of the biggest players in the game. So I met this guy in 2010 when I was a manager at Enterprise, and he gave me his business card, and the next day I got home, I saw this guy on the screen on CNBC, and I was like, who is this guy? And I realized he was actually, getting a black card to take him into the city so he could go do some business. And so we kept in touch. He sent me his books, the Goodbye Gordon Gekko, Little Book of Hedge Funds. Since then, I've actually made good friends with his business partners. He owns the Hunt and Fish Club in New York City. I spoke to one of his business partners and tried to organize an investment for the Hunt and Fish Club to kind of pay it forward, pay it back, because I feel like I've learned a lot from Anthony. And he's kind of like, how to Kanye West, Jay-Z was like his big bro. Well, my big bro I kind of look at is like Anthony Scaramucci. And I have a couple of other people that are like that in my life that are very successful that I look up to. But anyway, I want to get back to what I was talking about here, which is, opportunity and why the millennial generation are missing out on opportunity. Well, let me start by saying this again also. I recently came up with a phenomenal business idea that I'm going to keep under wraps. I'm not going to go into detail as to what it is, but I came up with a phenomenal business idea. It's amazing. It's an amazing business idea. I have a CTO, and I have a graphic designer. I have all the people that I want to work with, and they're willing to work with me for free because they want to be my partners, and they believe in my idea, and they believe in my ability to execute. And it's amazing to me how, like, you know what really, is driving this video that I'm making now? The fact that, like, I don't even have to pay these guys, and they're willing to work with me for free, and they're extremely highly skilled. I have a programmer and a coder, and I have a graphic designer, and we're all brought together just because we all have the entrepreneurial mindset. No, granted, I'm going to be financing everything, and my relationships are going to be what's driving the progress of the entire thing, but they're willing to code, and they're willing to do graphic design for me and design the entire app and everything, and the website. They're willing to do all that stuff for free just because they see the bigger picture like I do, because they have an entrepreneurial mindset like I do. And you know what? So I don't even call myself founder and CEO. I just call myself a co-founder, because they might as well be co-founders as well. All right? And so this goes back to the point that, if you're a millennial right now and you're caught up in the protest movement, you're missing some of the greatest opportunities in the world. I mean, forget the regular opportunities that there are with, selling products and selling services, and now how the internet makes it so easy. I mean, there's Alibaba. You can buy products from across the country and just distribute them here. You know what I'm saying? You probably pay fees to do that, but you can make a good profit doing that. There's people who do it. It's amazing. But what you're missing out on, if you're a millennial right now, is you're missing out on the app revolution. You're missing out on the information age. You're missing out on the website creation stage. You're missing out on. There's still a bubble going on, but what I'm saying is that for you, it doesn't even have to be just a bubble. Like, you can really create something that people use on a daily basis, and you guys can progress and make money doing it. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm so against the Bernie Sanders and the liberal movement these days, because if in this opportunity that you have right now, you can focus all your time complaining, it's like you're hopeless. America is still a wealthy country, and there's still opportunity. You know, for you to be focusing on all the negative and only the negative right now, it means that you're just never going to, you're probably never going to make it. I mean, honestly, I mean, think about it. It's like you're in one of the wealthiest countries in the world with so much opportunity, and you think that you would have it better if you went somewhere else? How does that make any sense? This is one of the countries where if you can't make it in America, there's very few places in the world that you can make it, you know? And to be honest with you, just because I believe that, you know, the government should give people, or, you know, not give people, because they're taking, you know, all they do is take. The government should let people keep more of their income. Just because I believe that, it doesn't mean I don't believe in, you know, charity, and I participate in charity, and I believe in, you know, social programs, but I believe in them being managed and organized properly, and I believe in them being effective and becoming a means to an end. You know, suppose if those programs work, you know, they should be a transitional phase. People should move through them and then out of them. You know, it shouldn't be a lifestyle. So anyway, I've said that many times in most of my videos, but let's get back to the point here. I keep going off topic here. I have major ADHD this morning, but my point is that there's so much opportunity out there. And, you know, while listening to my friend Anthony Scaramucci's podcast, I just realized that, like, they didn't even have any internet back then. They were going through the yellow pages. You know, I'm a millennial. I'm an older millennial, but I still remember the yellow pages because early on I had to look through them to find numbers, and I remember this vividly. You know, I'm 30 years old, but I still remember things like the yellow pages. I still remember what things were like before the internet was as developed as it is now. But even then, like, I remember when I was in my first year of college, I tried to do a music cassette tape and CD distribution service called C&Ds. I started a website for that. I started doing that as well. And there's many things I had started that didn't work out. You know, I started the distribution service, and that didn't take off, but that made some money. Then I started the create a CD service, and that didn't work out as well either. So there's little things that I did before the internet was as developed as it is today. And I remember using Dreamweaver. I remember using all these things. I remember things just being so difficult to organize on a website, and now it's like as easy as going to WordPress. I wouldn't create a WordPress website, but you know, for anything that I want to do. But there's many different, like, plugins you can use now. There's so many different internet services. There's so many different things that you can use. Like, I use Slack to communicate between myself and my team members. Basecamp is out there as well. There's so many things out there that people use to communicate with each other and work as teams that just didn't exist before. I mean, before you had to get on the phone call for everything. And it's like, there's so much opportunity out there. And it's just, if you have a little business experience and you know how to execute, I mean, it's just, I can't explain to you. There's so many opportunities out there today that at one point, I didn't even know which direction to go in. You know, I didn't know if I was going to, you know, release more new products in the nutraceuticals area, or if I was just going to go with a disruptive technology. But since I'm already in the nutraceuticals area as a high-level executive, I've decided to go with, you know, disruptive technology, because that's like the next frontier, and that's what people are doing. And I came up with this brilliant idea, and I have a team already ready to execute it. And I'm trying to tell millennials, younger millennials, that you guys can do the same thing. I mean, it's out there. You just need to accumulate the experience, and you need to work hard. If your mind is focused on protesting and safe spaces and trigger words, you're not going to be able to see these things. And I'm not saying you got to think like me, but okay, if you're protesting, that means that you see a problem, right? With every problem, there's an opportunity to provide a solution, thereby being able to progress yourself. If you're protesting and you see a problem, dude, create a business around that problem. Create an app. Even no matter how much I disagree with your idea, I'm just saying that there's opportunities out there. There's so much opportunity that to be complaining about problems is like such a waste of time, because you know what? You can spend your time fixing those problems, and you can say, well, Drew, you complain about problems too. I mean, through YouTube. No, I'm using YouTube to reach people. I'm using YouTube not to complain, but I'm using YouTube to reach minds. I'm using YouTube as a vehicle for that, because maybe I might want to, use this audience for something. Maybe I'm using YouTube to reach minds, like-minded people, and by building that out and having that base of subscribers that seem to be growing, by the minute, by having that base, that's something that I can use in the future. That's, you guys got, I'm just trying to explain to you guys the mindset and how it is. Always think productively instead of destructively. And that's all I got to say. You guys have a wonderful week. Take care.